All right. All right. Welcome to the Sweet Talk. Today is Monday, September 20th, 2021. And I am your host, Kim Matina. And I am so excited to have on my show today another fellow educator from New Jersey, Miss Samantha Selikoff. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you on. Sam comes to us from all the way up North Jersey. She is an alumni at the College of New Jersey with an extensive background in event planning and STEM education. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Sam?
Yeah, so I've been teaching STEM for the past few years. Got my master's and my undergrad through TCNJ, and I just love the creativity that STEM allows. There's a spot for everyone in STEM, so that's why it's one of my favorite things to do. I wish that I had STEM in school, so I had a version of STEM. But yeah, it allows for the creativity and the arts, and I've had a lot of different experiences through it, such as interning at the Baseball Hall of Fame and incorporating STEM there. So yeah, you can find STEM everywhere, which is one of the
Yeah.
reasons I love it.
And what grade do you teach?
I teach a variety. So I teach 4th through 8th grade. So big range there, but definitely keeps things interesting. So I love it. It's a lot of fun.
I could attest to that. That's for sure. That's awesome. Yeah, so it's great to have you on and hear your ideas, especially with engaging students. Now that we're back in person, face to face,
Yeah.
full day. I'm really excited about that. I know we were chatting a little bit before we went live, and we're both excited about the school year. So we're going to dive right in. So Sam's going to talk to us about engaging students with theme days and prizes, through virtual events as well. I love to hear all of your ideas and what you bring to your classroom so that I can maybe do it as well and pay it forward and help somebody else. So why don't you go
Absolutely.
ahead and share?
Yeah, so behind me, I'm actually in my classroom right now. So you'll see the engineering design process up behind me. And I love to do that. But a lot of people think that engineering is really difficult or engineering is just building and that it doesn't really apply to them. So one of the first things that we kind of do is a scavenger hunt and just making a lot of different connections about how engineering is everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and, like Kim said, dive right in. And I'm not just going to talk about engineering today or just STEM. We're going to talk about how these methods could apply to any classroom. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quick. And we are all set.
And I'm going to put your link in the chat.
Awesome.
Your presentation link. I'll put it in the chat as well for other people to see. So hold on a second. So this is your presentation link.
Yep. And so before I was a teacher, I've always wanted to teach, but I was also a camp counselor. And one of the things that's part of my teaching philosophy was that I was going to bring the camp mindset to the classroom. So part of what I loved about camp were the dress-up days and the theme days. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so here's me at all different stages.
Is that you?
Remember, that was
Get out of here.
Getting on the camp bus. So that's one of my throwback photos. That's me in my counselor days. And then I was also a photographer at a sleepaway camp or a sleepaway camp that kind of incorporated all different mindsets. So we're going to talk about a little bit today about theme days, prizes, virtual field trips, and guest speakers, and then just some student choice boards. So I'm excited for you guys.
I'm excited. That's awesome. I love choice boards.
Yeah. So one of my favorite things, like I mentioned, are my theme days. So the students get really excited. I give hints as to what they are coming up. So the first one I usually do is Disney Coding Day. I'll wear my Minnie Mouse ears. I have all different ears. The students usually bring in their ears or wear a t-shirt. I also get to learn about what kind of movies they like. So it's another way to make student connections. Code.org has a free Disney coding as well. So they include Big Hero 6 and Frozen and Moana, and the students get really excited about that too. So it's all through block coding, and I do that with my 4th, 5th, 6th graders. Sometimes even 8th graders do it too. Last year was really cool though, because as you know, we were learning from home. So I actually had some students like in Disney or at Disney while we were doing this lesson. So they're like super excited, and all they wanted to do was talk about which theme park they were going to later that day after they finished school. So that was really funny. But they also got to show me what they had at home. So it was a unique experience. Another theme day we do is Minecraft. And these are all code.org inspired ideas because they have these activities that are ready to go, and I just apply them to a theme day.
So
My
you make, so I'm sorry, Sam. So the
yeah.
kid, so you're using code.org, or is that
So I
just
use the
it?
lessons that go so I use code.org lessons, but you
Okay.
can really apply this to anything. Like if you have a Disney theme book, or if you do a unit that's with Disney, or a history lesson, or history lesson with sports. So, or role models with sports. So you can do all different things with theme days, which is why I love it.
I like that. I mean, do you give the kids a choice to pick their
So
theme?
they can participate. I haven't given them a choice. Usually I do all 3 of these days.
Okay.
I'm definitely planning to do something with sports with the Winter Olympics. So I'm already planning for that. I'll be posting some stuff on my Twitter. I'm like super excited. Anyone who knows me knows at school that like I get in full theme gear and I dress up all the time. So it's definitely a lot of fun. I just ordered these fun Lego leggings. So that will be really fun because I do a whole like Lego theme lesson, and I started building a Lego wall in my classroom.
Oh, cool.
Afterwards, yeah. So just a different way to like make things fun and engaging.
Oh, you'll have to share that. I would like to see your Lego wall.
Yeah. So it's actually like super simple. I've been collecting Legos. I actually got a ton of these yellow bins from a Donorschoose project, which I'll be talking about later. But yeah, it was very low cost to me because I got a lot of funding through them, which was great. Okay, so I really like prizes, and I started doing this last year. My students have fallen in love with the prizes. So a lot of people would think that these cost a lot of money, but Donorschoose has been great. And I'm going to show you just a quick, if you click this link here, you'll be brought to, I made this resource, and it's getting started with Donorschoose.
Can I
So
share
here it
that
is.
link with the audience?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So what happens is I broke it down into simple steps to start a Donorschoose, gave some tips and tricks like putting it on your signature, using the design playground, some different hashtags to use and different people to tag so that way they'll share it out, some sample projects. So made it super user friendly. And then if I get like really big donors or a really big project, last year I did a mindfulness fest where I got 100 yoga mats donated. It was a great day. I incorporated literature. A lot of my colleagues worked on it with me. And there's a sample video that you can see. One of my big passions is mental health. So I definitely love this project. I then had thank you cards made from Shutterfly, and I included ideas. Like I said, I don't just stick to the STEM classroom. I really like to show how this can apply to everyone. So almost any subject that you can think of, even community and hygiene, parent engagement, mental health, financial literacy, professional development. If you're an ed tech coach, anything like that, I tried to include an idea to get your Donorschoose started. So, and just some quick tips. I like to print these out. So this comes with a Donorschoose design playground. And then what I do is I make a QR code and I tape them. And then I'll make copies though on colored paper. So that way, it kind of stands out when I'm hanging at a Starbucks or a local coffee shop or anything like that. So that's some of the ways that I get donors.
So you actually print out the flyers and post them around?
Yep. Can you see what I'm holding up?
Yeah, I saw the flyer. Yep.
Yeah. So I'll just hold them up and I'll post them. I keep some in my car, and just when I'm going into a coffee shop or if I'm going into a supermarket that I know that has community bulletin boards, I'll just post one. So usually the shop doesn't mind because it's nonprofit. And I like to make it on colored paper so that way it stands out, and with the QR code.
That's a good idea. I mean, are you a Donorschoose ambassador?
So I'm actually not a Donorschoose ambassador. I really started getting into Donorschoose. I did my first project a few years ago, but last year was probably the most amount of projects that I've done. And I have a few sample projects. I'll do my Donorschoose deep dive. So here are some of my successful projects. I did a cricket one, so that was funded. And I always check to see what match offers are going on. So this one you can see was matched with Charles Schwab because I put a financial literacy component to it. So I talked about small businesses and how really anyone could be an entrepreneur. And mine is kind of a funky middle school, as you know, because it's 4th through 8th grade. So it doesn't always apply to a match offer automatically. So if I just email Donorschoose support, they usually get back to me right away. For example, if a match offer applies to donors, or if a match offer applies to middle schools, but I don't see that's applied to mine, my project, they'll usually help me out because it's not always automatic.
So when there is a match donation, I know, I know, like, they'll donate, half of what you get from somebody else.
Right.
But like, how do you get, to be honest with you, Sam, like, I have Donorschoose projects. I have one active now. Yeah. And I'll get the emails like, okay, your project is qualifies for match, right, double the match or triple the match. Okay, but somebody has to make a donation to do that.
So that's why I really like these flyers, because I found a lot of success from that. Okay. And I think that it doesn't ever hurt to have a project up there. I'll be honest, sometimes I've had projects that don't get fully funded. Right. And then I just try again with it. But then other projects I have, like, I'll show you my dashboard. Like this one is now a 5 times match offer. So, which is crazy because that usually never happens. Yeah. So this is my fall back into school is sports in the classroom. So I also run the Talking Sports Club after school, and Mission Tiger, which is associated with Kellogg's, and Stop and Shop are now working together to fund different projects. So I'll post this sometimes on my LinkedIn. I'll post it on Twitter. I also have it on my signature for my email. Okay. So just some different tips and tricks. I've also learned recently about a lot of different Facebook groups with Donorschoose. So where people will trade different projects just to get a different audience. So they'll say like, I'll retweet yours if you retweet mine. And then that also helps.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Those are good tips because I find that like I exhaust,
Right. And
a certain method of promoting it, and then I just don't have.
right.
I'm like, they give you everything to tweet or to put on Facebook or even the email template, but
Mhm.
just simple way, just like
Yeah.
what you were just saying, like, okay, let's just exchange projects and then you retweet it, or
Right.
you retweet it or I retweet it. Just that something simple like that would be helpful too,
Exactly.
you
Because
know.
also like as you know, the whole purpose of Donorschoose is to not have teachers spend their own money. So even like I didn't really want to put it on my personal Facebook page because I didn't feel like if I'm not spending my money, I don't really want like my friends to kind of like spend their money, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, so I like to keep it on my professional networks. And a lot of times I've noticed like different companies will just come and like clean out. So like I've had that happen with State Farm. They sent me a message saying, we're a local State Farm. I see that you're doing a lot of great work. And we just took care of your whole project or the rest of your project. So I was really grateful about that too. And then I've had that happen with anonymous donors too.
Yeah, I had one project funded, and then the rest of my other projects that I posted since then, I didn't get funded. But it
Right.
doesn't mean that I'm not getting donations. It's just that it's just not being 100%,
Right.
fulfilled. So, yeah, I do like a lot of the little tips that you did mention, because I think something simple like that, like retweeting someone else's or sharing, you
Mhm.
share mine, I share yours, just to get it into a different audience. Does those little tips are definitely
Absolutely.
helpful. So yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for sharing all that. I know we weren't supposed to talk about donors choose, but
No, it's been so helpful. And like I said, I was the same way. I was kind of like, well, what happens if I don't get a project funded? Or I just had two projects like that didn't get funded. So like that's kind of frustrating. But I mean, at the same time, there's also other opportunities for funding. So if you still want to pursue them, you could always do like a grant through something else, or an alternate solution. But I've always learned that also it doesn't hurt to have a project up there, which is nice.
okay.
Another one that I started doing recently is Scholastic Book Club. So this I love because I love reading, and I know before the stream started, we were talking about books, and both of us love books. So I love promoting the love for reading in my class. On my door, it has a poster that says Miss Selikoff is reading right now, and it usually has a book on there. Um, so my favorite thing as a student used to be like getting my Scholastic book club and like kind of looking through it as if it was like a catalog. My mom would sit there with her catalogs and I would sit there with my Scholastic, like studying it. Like, which one am I going to buy? But some teachers think that it's very like time consuming and just one more thing to add to their plate. But I broke it down in a similar handout. It's just one page, 5 quick steps of how to get started. So it's just another free download. And if you download it, it's just a quick download. You join, and then they'll send you either the flyers, or you could simply just post the link to your Google Classroom that they give you, and they'll start, or parents can start purchasing books from there. And the awesome thing about Scholastic Book Club is that you start earning points and bonus points just from joining and from using the link. So you'll start earning points, and you can purchase a variety of things with your bonus points, such as different books. I am getting ready to purchase a game. They also sometimes have different stickers and incentives. So that's just another like resource that you can use. Also great for student prizes. So it's just another resource that you can use as a teacher. And those are both free downloads that I made and posted them So you could always download those.
So when I click on that link,
Mm-hmm.
it says log in to download. I have to create an account, right? Is that to teacherspayteachers.com?
Yes. So when you download, if you already have like a Teachers Pay Teachers account and like I stay logged in, you can just download them. They would be right in your purchases. And then you have both of these. So the Donorschoose and the Scholastic one available to you free of charge.
Okay, okay. Yeah, because I don't have a Teachers Pay Teachers account, so that's um, new to
Yeah.
me too. Okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't cost anything. And they're just free up there. So you could always download them. I just thought it was an easy place to access them and to
And
always find them.
so you take the link to your Scholastic Book Club and then you can share it, through school, through Google Classroom
Yep,
or okay.
exactly. So it'll bring you to this. And you'll click on create an account. And or you could connect to teacher, but since you're a teacher, you'll click on create an account. And you can create an account and it will also give you a link that you can post to your Google Classrooms and that students can or parents can purchase right on there. And then you would also collect points.
Okay. And then at that point you can take your points and then
And then
buy
yeah.
purchase things. Okay. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that they did that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I can here, I'll log in really quick. I can give a mini tour.
Now, do you find that the older kids are using the Scholastic Book Club, or you just kind
Well,
of
we still do we still do book fair in our school. So they love it. They're like, "Are we doing book fair this year?" So I tell them about it and yeah, they know a lot about it and the books go all the way up to 8th grade. So you can sort by grade.
okay?
And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again.
And I used to love those Scholastic little
Yeah, right.
flyers.
Okay. So I set my date as the latest possible. They give you a date to set as a teacher for all your student orders to be submitted by. So I selected September 30th, and you'll see that I already have 3,000 rewards points in my bank account, as they call it. And then you would see that I have currently 3 student orders. So if you click share now, they already make up a whole family letter, which is awesome. This is on my school website, on my Google site, and students know where to find it in case they need it. And then you can also post just your link if you want. So they also have the digital flyers, and you'll see that it also takes you right to the middle school one, which is great.
Yeah, that's awesome. I had no idea that
Yeah.
that was all digital, that they had something like this.
Yeah, so they have ones for diversity. They have ones in other languages like Spanish. So it is really a great resource, and they release different things all the time. And then they also release dollar book days. So that usually is on Tuesdays, and it's usually for the week. So they'll post one book. I think it's like Clifford right now, but I've done it where it was an empathy book. And so I bought like 75 books and they're all $1 each. And I did a lesson on empathy. So yeah, there's some really good deals on there.
Now that you said they have to have the order in by September 30th, but
Yeah,
really like
they tell
that
you the
link,
date.
you can use that link throughout the whole year, right?
Right, absolutely.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it makes it super user friendly. And like I said, I broke it down into even 5 steps. So Donorschoose, it's like 3 steps to get started on my handout, but Scholastic is 5. So Yeah, it's really pretty simple.
That's cool. Now, do you give the kids prizes? I know you had mentioned prizes. So is this one of the ways that you would reward a student with a
So I
prize?
did have students like pick a book last year, so that was one of my raffles that I did. I've also ordered prizes through there, like I did bookmarks that are like taco scented. So I'm waiting for those to come in. But some different things that I can add to my treasure chest. Yeah.
That's cool. Oh, wow. Okay. So you don't like in your school, I mean, I know you're teaching STEM,
Yeah.
but you're not the media specialist, right? Do you work with the media specialist or
So I'm in the media lab. Is my classroom is the media lab, so makerspace slash media lab, but I'm not the librarian or media specialist. And I don't teach like language arts either. I just really like to incorporate reading in my
okay.
classroom, so that's why I do Scholastic in here.
Okay, because I mean, I don't know. Like I'm not the librarian, I'm not the media specialist, but I didn't know that Scholastic had this type of
Yeah.
platform for teachers to join. I think it's a great resource. So you don't
Yes.
have
So
to wait for the book fair,
yeah,
you
absolutely.
know?
And it's also different books than the book fair. So um it like doesn't compete with the book fair, and they can still order the books from Scholastic, which is great.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to touch base with the librarian in my school. I'm sure that he knows, but I don't
Yeah.
know because I honestly it's the first I've ever heard that Scholastic had anything like this with
Yeah.
giving like rewarding you with your own link and points and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So that's good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's very cool.
Yeah, that is
And then
cool.
also on their website they have like for $49 you can get like I think it's 30 book certificates that are like happy birthday certificates for a student can choose like up to a $5 book, so it's a pretty good deal. If principals were to hand out
Like
like
vouchers or
birthday,
yeah,
yeah,
coupons or something. Yeah, that's cool.
exactly, yeah, so it's a fun thing. But so that's like my Scholastic tidbit, and just some different like ways to kind of like shop for your classroom. I really love LinkedIn, and just to get different guest speakers, and you really never know like what someone can offer or help you with, and a lot of people are always willing to help. And so the best way to kind of like blind reach out is personalizing that message to connect. So I put my LinkedIn up here, and I also put a sample message. But I've gotten so many different responses and so many different donations just from reaching out on LinkedIn, and then also just great guest speakers. And I tell my students that we also take a look at different careers through the class. So just how there's so many different careers out there, and how to make the most out of your experiences. So that's also a great use for LinkedIn. So a lot of times educators they kind of just pass by LinkedIn, and they're like, we don't need LinkedIn. We don't really need to network, or LinkedIn is mostly for job searching. But there's a lot more to LinkedIn than just the typical things that are associated with business. So it's really useful. And I always joke around that I get in LinkedIn rabbit holes. Um, so it's definitely a lot of fun. And I definitely recommend it. But yeah, it's just always fun to connect with someone new, hear their story. We've had all different virtual field trips, from the Pro Football Hall of Fame to the Wilson Football Factory. And a lot of those were from LinkedIn. So just to kind of reach out.
Ah, that's good advice there. I didn't think about that, using LinkedIn for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
virtual
then,
field trips through LinkedIn connections and being connected through there. That's a good idea.
yeah. And then just like, there's to get those connections and then also keeping the connections. So I love to kind of like just send like a professional holiday card, and that I just made through Shutterfly, and it just highlights kind of some of our fun things that we do throughout the year, whether it's our virtual field trips with the Yogi Bear Museum or the Devils popping in, or you'll see one of my theme outfits there for Read Across America. And then you also see that Luke Voigt, who plays for the Yankees, popped in. So yeah, just kind of highlighting some of those things and sending a thank you note is always fun too.
Yeah, I agree that sending the thank you notes just puts the icing on the cake.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's important to do that. I totally agree.
Yeah. So I just want to thank you all so much for having me, and it was great. But yeah, those are some of my favorite things to do. Wearing my Donorschoose t-shirt. But yeah, I have some different projects up there. So always feel free to take a look at the projects. Feel free to download those items too. Just trying to make everyone's life easier and more fun.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned and we talked a little bit about Donorschoose because you know I don't know. I just think sometimes people find that to create a project, you have to put the work into it and write it all out, but then they give you everything to promote
Right.
it. So, just take the whatever it is, 45 minutes or an hour, not even really, to just write it up. And it's good for 6 months. It's active for 6 months. So it's not like you're
Yeah.
doing it
And
for two
your
weeks.
first project, if you use the link that I have in the PDF, your first project, I think it automatically gets doubled for the first week. Usually for new people or newly registered Donorschoose projects. So even right off the bat, you've got some funding opportunities right there.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad that you even brought up the Scholastic Club too, because I didn't know any of that. And I'll have to see if like I said, I'm sure the media specialist in my school knows about it, but I
Yeah,
don't know to what extent, because we still do the book fair. Well, last year we had a book fair vending machine
that's
because,
fun.
yeah, which was cool. But the year before, we had Scholastic Book Fair in the building and everything. So I'll have to ask them. I'm just curious.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Definitely. I'll let you know. Definitely.
sounds good. I'll have to see some pictures of your vending machine too.
I'll send you the vending machine. I'll send it to you. I have a video. I
That sounds so
created a
fun.
video. Yeah, I created a video, but I'll send you something.
Yeah.
I'll send it over to you.
Yeah,
Well,
we
this
just
was
got a
great.
grant for a little free library, so we're super excited about that.
Oh, yeah, that's
Um,
cool.
yeah.
That's cool. So
So
are you gonna put that outside, I guess?
yeah, so we're gonna put that outside in our courtyard that they're building. It was an 8th grade project. So we're just adding to that.
That's awesome. Good
Yeah.
for you guys. Well, we'll have to compare. I'll send you the picture of the book vending machine, and then it's like a soda machine.
Yeah.
They put the books in there, and then the student picks you
That's
know,
awesome.
the number on the keypad, and the book comes out, and then they drop it off when they're done. It's like,
I
oh
can't
my
wait to see
god.
it.
It's too funny.
Yeah.
Wow, this was great. Thank you, Sam, for
Yeah.
sharing and creating the presentation and sharing your resources. I hope that people find it helpful. There's resources out there to try to get some kind of inspiration and trying to get a project going or a club going and you know get your kids involved. It's just these resources are very helpful. So I appreciate
No,
you
thank
sharing.
you. Thank you so much.
So what I'm going to do really quick, and I am going to share my screen. So let me just get my website up before I share, and you will tell me if I'm sharing my screen. One time I thought I was sharing my screen and the guest didn't tell me that I wasn't sharing it. I went through my whole spiel. I'm like, so now I ask.
That's okay. It's like, because when we were all teaching, and then a student goes, but you're muted. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's like, oh, geez. At least they told you, but after a couple
yes.
minutes. All right, so let me share. All right, can you see my
Yep,
screen?
you're all good.
All right. So if you'd like to visit my website, thesweettalk.com, you can go and visit the SUITE talk.com. And I spell it out because some people think it's sweet like the sweet tooth, but it's sweet like the office space. So anyway, on the homepage, you'll notice you'll be able to join my Facebook group, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter, subscribe to the Sweet Talk on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and my newsletter. The latest episode and podcast will be here on the homepage. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can fill out the guest inquiry form. Right now, I'm scheduling for early 2022 in the wintertime. If you'd like to become a sponsor on my show, you can fill out the sponsor form and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Right now, I would like to really thank my sponsors. Without their support, I wouldn't be able to pay it forward. So thank you to Helperbird, AliceKeeler.org, Moat, Screencastify, TextHelp, Cami, Slidesmania, and StreamYard. I appreciate all of your support with that. Let me go back to the homepage and scroll down. And my new book, Teaching with Google Jamboard, is out. It's available on Amazon. It's a great tool for you to collaborate with students in the classroom using Google's digital whiteboard. And that's it. If you'd like to listen to any episode on Podbean, some of the episodes are here. If you want to listen to any past episodes, you can go to the episode page here and you'll see a list of all of the episodes I recorded with other guests, and the show notes will be here with the YouTube link. So all that information is here for all of you to check out. And with that being said, I'm coming back to Sam. Here we are. So I hope that everyone enjoyed the episode. I really appreciate Sam taking the time to be on tonight. I'm so glad that we were actually able to catch up and get connected. I know we rescheduled a few months back we rescheduled. So I'm thankful that you came on tonight and we connected. So appreciate it, Sam.
Thank you so much.
This was great. Thank you. And I will see everyone next time. Have a great evening, everyone, or morning or day. Bye.